You know, great brands don't always just sell, sometimes they stick.
And bad brands, well, it's kind of like wearing to a job interview Crocs.
Okay, well, in today's episode, we're discussing what makes brands unforgettable or unforgivable.
And we're calling this episode Just the Brand, ma'am. So let's get branded. Cheers.
The Brand-Proof Podcast is on. The Brand-Proof Podcast is on. The Brand-Proof Podcast is on. Here's the Brand-Proof Podcast Show.
Welcome back to episode 3 of the Brand-Proof Podcast. First off, just me personally, I would like to say thank you guys so very much for all the love and support that you guys have given Lindsay and myself. We launched this show last week, and we've done a few episodes already, including our promo, and they're all up on YouTube. I hope you all get time to give it a watch, and be sure to like and subscribe these videos because we're trying to grow this brand new channel. This is all new to us, and we've never done this before, so we're trying to bring a lot more stuff to you guys. And with that said, I heard a rumor, well, a little bit more than a rumor. I see a little bit of a teaser over here, that you've got a surprise for me.
I do. And we've got a jam-packed show today, but I wanted to first start off with what we're going to be trying.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And this is a very special Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It's from Lux Road Distillers, but smell it. The aroma.
Oh, yeah.
What do you smell?
My first instinct, oh man, it has this kind of a sweet smell. I thought it was going to be an overpowering. I don't know why, but I thought it would.
Because I was pouring.
I guess, but no, it has a little bit of a kind of a spicy mamacita kind of
That's funny.
kind of a thing.
That's
going on
really
here.
funny you say that.
Why?
Because it's been finished in tequila barrels that
Oh,
were
there you
sourced
go.
from
Yeah,
the.
oh my gosh, I'm getting hold on.
Oh yeah, if you saw the price, you wouldn't have been spilling
Yes.
that over there,
Hold on.
Ryan. But it's been, and they were sourced from the mountains of Mexico.
From the mountains of Mexico.
And this is the only.
Yes.
Yep, it's the only allocation. One and done. 17,000 cases. We're one of the few lucky ones that get to try it.
Really?
Yes, but before you try it,
I already did. Sorry, I
want
cheated.
yeah.
I'm a
What
cheater.
drew it to me was the branding.
Oh, dude,
and
snap!
the
Look at
packaging.
that.
It's called Blood Oath.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It kind of has this old world. Almost
Isn't
feels
that
like
cool?
like
And then you
like a
like
pirate
sit
thing
over.
or a
Can you get a good shot of that, Courtney?
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And while we try it, Courtney, you could bring it up and let the audience see it as well.
Yeah, we got more info. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And now you can try it, right?
Blood Oath. Rare whiskey shall never again be made. Like,
Oh, it's good.
whose lips never tasted something so special?
It's really, really good.
And I am generally, I love bourbon. And I'm generally not a straight guy. Just
Yeah.
straight bourbon out of the bottle. But I could do me some of this right here.
Yes. I can do Blanton straight.
Well, Blanton's, of course. But I'm
But I
saying
could do
just
this too.
generally on a no name that I haven't
Yeah.
heard of. I usually cannot. But this, it kind of almost has this, like it's sweet at first, but then it almost has a little bit of a after kick, kind of the whole, like what you were saying, kind of the tequila barrels. It kind of has a little, that spice hitting you on the back of the throat.
Yeah, like a peppery taste.
peppery,
but
yeah.
it's kind of warm too, like a vanilla.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe that's the sweet I'm getting.
palate.
Yeah.
Right.
That's pretty dang cool. Well, thank you for that surprise.
You're welcome.
And I look forward to every show having the same type of surprise. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would.
That would be awesome.
Okay. Yeah, we get to sip that all show. That's very, very nice.
All right. Well, I guess we got to get back to this podcast. Too bad this wasn't a bourbon podcast, straight up bourbon, where we just sit here and drink bourbon the entire time.
We do.
Although maybe, well, that's true. We do drink it while we're doing other stuff, but I mean, just don't do anything else.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay.
Just literally sit here and drink and smile.
Like as opposed to what?
And
Ryan?
that's it.
Yes. But
All
anyway,
right.
tell us what we're going to go over today.
All right, we have got a lot to cover, and if we must, we must. All right, so let me get my stuff in order because I had a little spilly poo over there. Okay, so today we got a lot of stuff to go down. I'll go through some of these. I'll kind of do a little rundown thing,
Okay.
and then we'll break it down from. We'll break it down from
That
there.
sounds
okay.
fun.
So we've got Gap, the store Gap, breaking up with discounts. That's big on storytelling. There's some interesting little stuff on the article that I found about Gap because they were, you know how they used to do celebrity endorsements and things like that, and there's kind of some changes that they're implementing.
Yeah, I remember Cindy Crawford.
Oh man, who doesn't?
Yeah. What's next?
I always remember Cindy Crawford. Okay, and next up we got Elon Musk, and he wants to ban hashtags on X.
Well, if he wants to, he can, right?
Well, he's just saying that it doesn't make sense any longer.
Okay.
So that's interesting because there's so many people that use hashtags. So it'd be
Right.
interesting if that goes out. Next up, Amtrak. They go full monster truck madness, and it turns out a quiet car train, it becomes a viral sensation. They had a ton of views
I saw it.
from this thing, and I never would have associated Amtrak with monster trucks, but I do now.
And the audience will too, right? We'll show them what that's about.
All right. Well, let's see what else we got. We got. I'm going to be sharing how to build a brand and why it's kind of like building a house. It's basically I broke it down into 7 steps. So basic steps, not like going in,
Right.
too high level or anything like that, but just kind of a good overview. So for you guys out there, you small business owners and entrepreneurs that are, kind of looking into doing some marketing for your own business, you can kind of visualize a little bit better on some of the 7 steps
Okay.
for your brand.
Foundation. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. We'll also be have a segment with what we're calling Lindsay's Lens, like a camera lens, Lindsay's Lens. And you've got a perspective that every brand should hear. Yeah. Yeah, we're calling this episode, what was it? That's the
Just the brand, ma'am.
Just the brands, ma'am. Just the brand, ma'am.
Mhm.
That's right. And so everything's kind of revolves around branding on this one.
And you're forgetting about the quiz. We'll have a little quiz with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And
with
also,
each other. Don't worry. We're not going
to top
yeah.
off this little podcast, we'll do just a little quiz, a little timed quiz that I'm going to fail and she's going to win, but it's okay. I will take one for the team.
That's a lot to discuss, Ryan.
All right. Well,
I'm ready.
Are you ready for the latest marketing news?
Yep.
Okay. All right. We'll get into it. Okay. So here is the first headline. We're calling it Gap is done bombarding shoppers with discounts. So here's what happened. Gap's new CEO, Richard Dixon, he said that there are no more constant discounts. The brand is shifting to long-term storytelling and repositioning its sub-brands like Gap, Old Navy, Banana Republic for the emotional connection rather than just coupon clicks. I think they're bombarding tons of people with mobile and things like that. So, Courtney, if you could pull up the website so everybody can kind of see where I'm looking. Okay. So I highlighted a couple areas, but as you can kind of see, Gap, a once famous brand at the top for its branding and celebrity partnerships, somehow lost its way. They relied on blasting shoppers with promotions rather than letting its cash speak for itself. The CEO said this is a brand that through its narrative changed culture and or shaped culture. Somewhere along the way, we lost the art of the brand merchant storytelling and became a retailer that just sold stuff. So we had to go in and edit. Basically, when you go into stores and see a sign on every single fixture, that's not an experience that is very going to be really appealing. So they are tired of bombarding customers with all the buy this now, half off now, 75% off now, come in now, July 4th savings here now. What do you think about all that stuff?
As the consumer, thank goodness, I'd much rather, as we always say, hear the story and what makes them unique and who are they really trying to talk to. If they're really trying to talk to the price sensitive customer, then I say go for it. But 9 times out of 10, when I'm talking to businesses, when they say, should I coupon? Should I give a discount? To me, the answer is no, because what it does, in my opinion, is it decreases their brand value, their brand worth, their perception among who is their target audience. If you want a target audience that only cares about the price, then go for it. But most businesses, it's not about that. It's about how to, resonate with their target client, their target consumer, and actually provide value to them and relationship build. Price cutting, price value, all that. I mean, all that kind of stuff, it doesn't build relationships.
And something that I totally agree with this CEO of Gap. I think in this day and age, storytelling needs to come back. That telling a good story about a company, if you've got a website out there, be sure you have an about page with a really good story about who you are. People want to know who you are, how you got started, what your goals are, that kind of stuff, because there are so many interesting stories from business owners about how they were able to grow a business out of nothing and how they got so big. And that's kind of the stuff that I like to see is, getting that emotional connection between the customer and the brand.
We agree. We agree. And the storytelling also isn't about the history of the company, which I think is important, but the story is also what makes that company unique and that product and that service, and then help resonate to the people you're trying to reach.
Yeah, because if you can reach them on an emotional level, oh man, you have got a customer for, I won't say life, but for a really long time.
Or loyalty, right?
Yeah, loyalty. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that's so important these days with so many different options.
And in this case, if they're only speaking to the price sensitive customer, then that customer is going to wait till the next sale and the next sale. So I think this is going to be a way for them to really hone their brand, filter out the customers that they don't necessarily need, and go for the ones that they do need. And I bet you anything, their ROI is going to see dividends.
And for you guys that are business owners out there, if you've got any thoughts or comments about this, put it down in the comments down below and let us know, because I would love to hear more about your own thoughts and some of your experiences of what you're having to go through and what you're having to do and what has been successful for you.
Right.
And
before we pivot to the next one, I kind of think of those mailers. Do you ever get the mailers like there's just tons of coupons for the different stores?
It was like Junk Mail Tuesday is what I call that.
Yeah. Do you know, in my opinion, when I see those, I don't want to do business with those stores, because to me, it kind of cheapens them or lessens their value to me. So I know that's weird. But.
Yeah, it's kind of a 50-50, because I do get it, and I do spend a few minor seconds going, junk. Oh, look, new sunroofs for half off. Junk.
Have you ever used them?
No, I've never used anything in any of those, but I may stop and go, oh, look, a pool. I wish I had a pool.
Yeah. All right. Next. We could talk about that for a while, but next.
All right. So, moving on. Headline number 2, X, formerly known as Twitter, they're trying to ban hashtag and ads. And is this the end of social tagging? And let me tell you what's kind of going on. A few days ago, June 27th, Elon Musk announced that X will no longer permit hashtags in paid advertisements, labeling them as an aesthetic nightmare. This change applied solely to sponsored content. Regular users cannot, of course, continue to use hashtags in their posts. And I've got the link. Courtney, if you can pull that up for us, that'd be great. Okay, cool. And so on this, Musk said, starting tomorrow, the aesthetic nightmare that is hashtags will be banned from ads on X. Go down a little bit. Twitter's previous ad team had actually been advising advertisers to dump hashtags for years, noting hashtags links to all other mentions of that phrase are useful if you're focused on engagement. But if your goal is to have people just go to your website and follow your account, you don't want to risk someone clicking on a hashtag instead of your call to action on your post. So it's really not a shift in perception, and that does make sense. What are your thoughts about hashtags on paid ads?
It's a love-hate. Absolutely. I love it because it has formed a place in digital marketing and social media where you can really hone in on those niche communities. You can increase reach on a lot of the different channels, especially Instagram. And, we've even used it as a subtle way to emphasize certain points that we don't necessarily need to put into that exact post. Does that make sense? So
Right.
it's kind of a subdued way of messaging. So I love it in those tense. But I also agree with Elon that it's just real tacky, and it's really it's not pleasant for the visualness of it all. And oftentimes people just go crazy with it. Like
Almost like it's overused, like hashtag this, hashtag this.
and
hashtag-
it's longer than the actual post. And I'm like,
Right.
come on now, we got to rethink. Like websites, right? Remember when it was just text, text, text? I think we talked about
Yeah,
that
on the last
Yeah,
episode, yeah.
exactly. So I think they can be overused. So in my opinion, I think it's all about quality over quantity. I still think that it's beneficial on certain platforms. Instagram, for example, it's proven that at least one hashtag, but more, actually increases your engagement. To X's point, in their algorithms, it's proven that any more over 3 or 4 decreases your engagement. So I think it is definitely platform. It depends on which channel you're on and how you use it.
Yeah, which brings up a thought going back and forth between X and Instagram. We should probably do a segment on a future episode about the differences between platforms. Like,
Okay, yeah.
You
that
know,
could be
like-
the Lindsay lens, I guess.
yeah, like what's the difference between Facebook and Instagram and
Mhm.
Twitter and LinkedIn and, TikTok? What's the difference? Because if I'm a small business owner and entrepreneur, it's a lot. It's a lot to throw at my way because I'm too focused on, sales.
Mhm.
And not enough time on really knowing what's what. And that would be a
Right.
good segment to do. Let's write that down.
I think we should.
Yes. All right. So this next headline, we're moving on. This next headline is so fun, and I found it and I laughed, and I've watched this video so many times just because it's hilarious. All right, headline number 3: Amtrak's monster truck inspired video went viral. It was a masterclass in brand personality, and it really was. So here's what happened. Amtrak launched a humorous video parodying monster truck commercials to promote its quiet car service. The unexpected approach resonated widely, leading to a significant audience growth and increased engagement on social media platforms. So what we're going to do here, Courtney, if you will pull up the YouTube video so we can watch this, and I'm going to let you guys watch some of this, and we'll post the link in the description below because it's just great. All right, go ahead, Courtney.
Friday! Don't miss the first day of summer on the train. Flying? Don't be ridiculous. Little bags of pretzels? No way!
Yeah.
Tiny windows? I don't think
Yeah.
so. Middle seats? Get out of here!
Yeah.
Take the train instead! Yeah! See fan favorites like Tyrannosaurus Rex,
That's
Mega
awesome.
Loco, and the City of New
That's
Orleans.
awesome.
Check out the funny cars.
No,
Over 18
it's
inches
not.
of seat, but you'll only need the edge. We'll see you at the station.
Yes. All right. That was awesome. I loved every bit of that. You didn't like it? Our thoughts. What were your initial thoughts? Now, maybe it's skewed toward us dudes who like monster trucks and who like Friday. But I never would have associated a quiet Amtrak car train with a monster truck.
I mean, what is it you call me? The brand queen? It makes me absolutely cringe.
No. I love it so much.
I mean, it's kind of a prime example of, okay, is Amtrak's target audience the dude, what'd you call it? The dude that likes what?
What monster trucks?
Yeah, the monster truck dude. I didn't realize that was their target
Friday.
client.
That's awesome. But you know what? It's so, to me,
Mm.
it's so different for an Amtrak. It's so visual. It's so, like, I'm going to remember Friday, Amtrak. Who would have, I never would have put together that slogan with Amtrak, but now I do.
And to your point, I will agree too. It absolutely makes me rethink Amtrak.
Yeah.
And they're not so stuffy. They're not so old. It's more fun. It's more youthful.
It's youthful.
So I definitely think it will make an impact. I definitely think it makes me rethink Amtrak. And I'm probably at the younger point of their target audience, wouldn't you say? But maybe more of our parents' age is their current target audience. So I do not think it speaks to them, but I think that it's going to help them grow their target audience and maybe rejuvenate themselves.
Maybe I just like the youthfulness of it. I think it's advertising to a much younger audience than us. It's just kind of, our kids' age is that's kind of the thing. It's kind of in their wheelhouse, and since I'm a kid at heart, I'm basically a big kid.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think it could get any tackier. Like the fonts and the colors.
Yeah, I know. It's monster truck.
Like, yeah, as if the audio and visual wasn't.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let me ask you this then. Are there any kind of lessons in this for, entrepreneurs and business owners that they can kind of say, okay, so I have a kind of a brand that doesn't have a personality at all.
Or it's lost it.
It's lost it. Right. And it needs some excitement, some rejuvenation to it. Is there anything like that?
I think so. I mean, to think outside of the box. It's so easy to just have your style guidelines and your branding, and you've done all of that so right. But then all of a sudden, your audience, are your current customers coming back? Has that decreased? Online, are you having the engagement? Are you having the reach? I think that this is a very big example, large example of a way that they really thought outside the box and thought, hey, how can we reach more people? And how can we do it in a very dynamic way? I wanted to say crazy, but...
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Well, so guys, what we're trying to do is every week we're looking at some of the latest current trends in marketing and news and things like that. And if we see things that are kind of interesting, we thought we'd talk about them on the show and how that can relate back to you guys. So if your brand feels a little shaky out there, I like to think that it might be because you missed some fundamental foundations of branding. And here are my 7 steps of building a brand and why it's like building a house. Okay. Step 1, survey the land, know your market, competitors, and customer landscape. You wouldn't build a coffee shop in the middle of a cornfield without checking if anyone drinks coffee out there, would you? Same with your brand. Scout the territory first. Number 2, lay your foundation. Establish your brand mission, your voice, your positioning. A strong brand needs more than just a good logo. It needs a reason to exist. It's like pouring concrete. It's boring to watch, but essential. Everything you do. Number 3, frame the structure. Build out your logo, your messaging, and all of the platforms that go along with that. So this is where your brand finally is starting to take shape. It's like raising the walls on your house. Suddenly people go, oh, yeah, that's right. That's where this place is going to be. That's kind of what it's going to look like. Number 4, install the utilities. Get your systems humming, your email list, your content calendar, your automation, and tools that keep your brand running smoothly. Just remember, you can have a beautiful house, but if the lights don't turn on and the water's cold, people just aren't going to stick around. Number 5, finish the interiors. Add some personality, an emotional connection, and a voice that actually sounds human. None of that automated AI. Hello, this is your brand. Call me. None of that. You've got walls. Now add the charm. This is the paint color, the playlist, the vibe that makes people say, yep, I would live there too. Number 6, the landscaping. Think your curb appeal, how your brand looks and feels the moment someone walks in, your website, storefront, social media, even your email signature. If it's going to be seen by a customer, you need to look at how that feels. So first impressions do count. Don't let great ideas live behind overgrown hedges and your busted front door. Number 7, the neighborhood vibes. How you show up in the community, partnerships, and the press. It's not just what you build, it's how you belong. Good brands wave to their neighbors, they host the block party, and they bring chips to the table. And you better have some dip with that chips. Otherwise, there's going to be talk going around the water cooler the next day. So, Lindsay, what am I missing here? When it comes to building a brand like a house, what am I overlooking here?
I think what you might be overlooking, and a lot of the clients overlook too, is budget.
Ooh, budget. That's a marketing budget.
Yes.
Marketing budget. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a bad word to a lot of people, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes it's a word people don't even know to think of when they're doing their business plan and they're going to get their business loan and they have this whole beautiful strategy. But without marketing, if you do not include that as a major percentage on any new brand, any new business, and then any ongoing business, right?
Right.
That percentage changes. But if you don't have a budget, you can't really market effectively.
Yeah, I could not agree more, because most times I feel, especially as a small business owner, that it just takes so much time and effort and energy into the actual building of the business,
Right.
that oftentimes we keep putting the marketing piece to the end. Oh, I'll get to that.
Right.
And sometimes, knowing me, especially me, I'm going to say, maybe my marketing budget, maybe I need that for a little bit of the build over here, but
Right.
not.
It's always the one that kind of gets things taken out of. But if
Yeah.
you really, really think about it, as important as all of it is, marketing is a huge piece and just as important, because you can build this beautiful store and you can have the most amazing products and the most amazing people working at your store. But if no one knows your store exists,
Right. Then you're in trouble.
right. So
Yeah. Then whoops, my bad. All right. Well, those are my 7 steps why building a brand is like building a house. And up next, we're going to have Lindsay's Lens. So let's get into that.
And I really want to hone in on the foundation and the structure you were talking about. When they're starting to build their logo or branding, or even if they're revamping it, like we talked about last episode, what brands, what businesses have really hit the mark and they've used simplicity to do it? Yeah.
Interesting.
I know. So if you'll bring up a full screen, Courtney, do you know who this is, Ryan?
Oh, there better be some 2-day shipping involved in that. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. 2 days. You know who you are. Amazon.
I mean, yeah, we could talk episode after episode about Amazon.
Place that formerly did 2-day shipping.
I mean, look, it's beautifully designed.
Yeah.
It has that emotional connection because did you notice the arrow is also a little
Smiley face.
And
Yep.
then how they did the Z, it kind of goes in the Z. So it's not just so perfect, but it's
Right.
it resonates. It makes that emotional connection that resonates on a personal level. It tells a story that aligns with their audience, values, and emotions. Because what do you think the arrow also speaks to? Not just a smile.
Are you like shipping or
Right.
Right.
Right. It
direction
speaks to their
of-
message, their
right.
services. Yeah, just everything. Okay, next, Courtney.
There's a bullseye on this one. I don't know, but I think my wife knows about this more than I do on a daily basis. I don't know. It's almost like she's got a target on his back.
Right. So obvious. Everybody knows it's Target, right?
yeah.
But the simplicity and the simplicity is used to communicate with the audience. They have a lot of clear, open spaces. It makes the message easy, memorable. You know how they use it on the dog's eye, like
Yeah,
the Three
right.
Rascals kind of. But
Right.
yeah, I just love everything about it. But it also is the exact definition of their name, which I think is very interesting. So once again, they're using so many psychological layers to their insignia.
But isn't it called Target? That's my wife Courtney calls it. Courtney, you can say you're going to Target.
Exactly.
I thought
That's the lame.
Target. Who knew?
But I
Okay.
mean, we could even speak to that, right? Because you don't say you're going to Walmart, but you say you're going to Target.
I do say that.
So they have done a very, very good job of resonating with their audiences. And now Courtney's brought up Lexus, right? I'm sorry, I'm telling. Would you have guessed that correct?
Yes, absolutely. No, Lexus.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So once again, a beautifully designed brand. It has that emotional connection that resonates. So simple, a lot of empty space. But I've once heard that empty space can speak so much more volumes than filled space with imagery or fonts. It's empty, it's pretty, it's clean. And I mean, you can kind of also see a greater than. I don't know if they meant that, but you know the greater than symbol.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought it was Pac-Man eating a lion with a big long tongue or something. But okay, yeah, sure.
Of course you would. And you also loved that Amtrak video. So there we
Friday,
are.
Friday. Okay, yeah. Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Yep. That completes the Lindsay's lens. Any other questions, Ryan? Any thoughts?
No, but I do know that Lexus is a very good car company, and it almost has, to me, the Lexus logo almost kind of feels, I don't want to say luxurious, but it does feel, just the logo, if I don't know anything about the car or the brand, it does have kind of a nicer upper scale
Absolutely.
feel to it.
And we didn't even talk about that is an L.
Right, the L, right.
Right. So they
Yeah.
used very simple mechanisms of building it, but they did it in a very sophisticated way.
Yeah. I like it.
I do too.
I like your little Lindsay's lens there. That's fun.
Right.
Okay, cool. All right, well, up next, we're going to have a little branding quiz between my partner in crime here and me.
Do people win?
No, but I'm definitely sure, 110% sure that I'm going to lose. So, no, nobody wins, but I will lose.
We agree on something else.
I know. I'm used to it. I've been married for a while. I get it. So, I put together a little branding quiz, at least I put on the script. I want to do a branding quiz, and I had you put together some questions, and I put together some questions. Now I don't know what yours questions are,
Right.
and I know you don't know what mine are. So
I'm scared.
and I'm just wanting to do something a little fun, something a little different for this episode.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's fun.
All right. Little brand speed test, round 1. All right. What is your go-to brand color and why?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yep.
Blue.
Blue. Okay, next question.
No, navy blue. To
navy
be
blue.
specific. And there's a lot of different shades of navy blue. Won't go into that. But do you know why?
Is it the CMY color?
CMYK.
K color?
All colors are that. I mean,
Blood Oath. Brought to you in part by Brandproof.
no. I mean, to me, navy is just one of those tried and true colors. It exudes reliability, professionalism. I can trust that brand. So, blue.
Blue. All right. Well, fine. Be blue. And I like blue. Okay.
My turn.
Your turn.
If you had to describe your personal brand in 3 words,
Oh my gosh.
I bet yours is going to differ from what Courtney would say about you. But anyway, go.
All right. Personal brand. Fantastic. That's definitely the first one. Storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the second one. And visual
Okay.
would be my third, because all of those make sense. That is literally how I live life. I'm a fantastic storyteller that is very visual.
And I thought your third would be grandiose.
No. Look, fantastic is like the top of the top tier. Blood Oath by Brand Proof.
And I do say, we don't have any sponsors yet, but if,
Well, that's coming.
yeah, if they're watching, there we go.
Blood Oath
Yeah.
by Brand Proof. Okay. All right. I like that. Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
All right. Fine. Be that way. What is one brand trend that you hope that never, ever comes back? Like ever?
Comes back or just goes away in general? Can I do that one?
Sure.
And that's ads that take over your page. Have you ever tried to watch a video on YouTube or any place, any platform, and all of a sudden you have to watch this ad, and then the ad takes over your whole screen and you're limited to so many seconds, which I understand, but then to even X out when you possibly can skip the ad or go away, when you click right there, it really takes you on to other places. So whoever they're selling that ad to, they're saying, oh, look at our click-through rate. Page takeovers. Can't stand it.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I like it.
I like to be in control.
Yeah.
They
I know. That's right.
Yeah, they do not
Okay.
do that. Oh, it's my turn.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is a good one. What brand voice makes you cringe? Like it's, too loud, too robotic. I don't know if anything is too loud for you, Ryan. After
I
the
don't know.
Amtrak, too quiet.
This is tough. I don't know. I don't know if I have a very cringe-worthy brand. I keep thinking, and maybe it's because of Blood Oath by Brand Proof, that my
No,
thoughts
it's not by Brand
that is clouding my judgment a little bit.
Obviously.
But I do know that it's not your Friday with Amtrak that makes you cringe, and she hopes that does not go viral. So no, I don't really have an answer off the top of my head for that one.
Okay, that's fair.
I just don't.
That's fair.
I don't know what that would be.
You just like cringe.
I do like kind of cringy, sappy stuff. So it would have to be more greater than Friday for it to get me. And maybe, you know what? Growing up, there was this ad that used to come on the radio for this furniture store. It's no longer in business now.
Okay.
And it was in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It was called Jernigan's. And the Jernigan's guy, the voiceover, was so annoying, was so cringy. And that is like the pinnacle of cringe. So if I hear that kind of thing, I know I've gone too far. Or that ad's gone too far.
I got you.
Okay, enough about the Jernigan's guy because I'm tired of talking about him. Up next, round 2, Would You Rather? Kind of like the Ron Burgundy, I'm Ron Burgundy. Okay.
I've got my question ready.
Oh, well then it says Lindsay, so go ahead.
Would you rather build a new brand from scratch or rescue one that's struggling?
Both have its pros and cons, right? So I've done my fair share. I've probably done more from the rescuing side, but the building one from scratch excites me more. One of the reasons why I like building the one from scratch is I like all things new. I like the discovery phase of where can you go? What can you look like? What color are you? That kind of thing. What font are you? I enjoy that kind of stuff. And sometimes when you have, the rebrand of something that's already existing, sometimes you get stuck in past things that are already tradition,
right?
Certainties that cannot change no matter what, because those are known factors in that brand.
Or you're focused on correcting those things. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes that, I know some people enjoy that. That is just not my thing.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think you have a question for me.
Yep. Okay. Would you rather have a brand with an epic visual identity or an unforgettable message?
I mean, Ryan, have to have both.
Epic. Oh, both.
Yeah.
Oh,
you can't have
okay.
one without the other.
Okay. Well, why
What's
is
that
that?
song? What's
You
that song?
can't. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll remember it at some point.
Yeah. Okay.
Your turn.
But why would you? But why would you need both? I mean, what?
Well, it's everything we've talked about on the last 2 episodes and now this one. You can't just have a visual identity. You have to have one that's an emotional connection, the relationship building. It goes into everything. It has to go into every sense of a person, right?
Right.
But you can't. So sight,
Okay. Well,
feel, yeah, all of that.
all right. I'd choose that big too. Okay.
Oh.
So next.
I think it's my turn.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Would you rather create content for a luxury brand or a quirky small business?
Ooh, both can be fun. Both. Lots of options for both. Although a small business, you have way more options on what you can do because usually you're not established as much, and you can, one of the things that I like to do is I like to set a plan in motion for about 3 months or every quarter. And at the end of every quarter, I like to sit down and look at, do we keep going this direction? Do we take a left? Do we, take a right and then go that way? Luxury, sometimes there's constraints on what you can or shouldn't do, right? I'm an out of the box guy, so there's kind of a little bit more in the box stuff, unless, in case in point here, if you've seen the new Jaguar ad, it is completely the wrong direction. And I just read, and I wish we had this in our marketing news, but I read that like sales have dropped off 90-something%
Right.
for their new ad campaign. It was really bad.
Prime
Check it
example
out.
of trusting, your marketing department, and they didn't really take all the factors.
Yeah,
into
check it out on Google if you had it on Jaguar.
Right.
So, so I'm going to choose small business.
Absolutely. And,
Yep.
you do have budget constraints with small versus
You do.
luxury, but you're right. A lot of times, large corporations, they have certain guidelines they have to follow.
You do, and like Brandproof here, we have small business money constraints. We have things that we just can't do. We would love to be a 20-person crew, but we're not.
Grandiosity.
Yeah, we would love, and so with that, it pushes my creativity on how can we look like the part of a big, entity on a broke budget.
Well,
How can we do that?
that's my philosophy. I mean, marketing at the end of the day,
pushes
how
my
can we
creativity.
make it get the biggest bang for your buck?
Yeah, I mean, it makes me think more about creativity, and I think that a lot of small businesses and entrepreneurs can actually utilize that same mentality. Okay, would you rather have your brand go viral once or grow slowly but stay loved for 30 years? Okay, then.
I mean, come on. You know me too well.
Go viral. Okay.
Whatever. Virility. Is that the word? Virility?
I don't know. It sounds like giving
So
birth, but
overrated.
yes.
I mean, so overrated. Obviously, it's helped a lot of companies catapult themselves or
Yeah.
reinvent themselves. Stanley Cup. I mean, come on. That one influencer that said, I love to drink my water out of the Stanley Cup. And then all of a sudden, Stanley goes from the construction,
I know.
the blue collar workers of the world, which has worked for many, decades.
Nobody. Stanley was not a thing.
Right. And all of a sudden, it opened it up to females.
Yeah.
A female would have never drank
Right.
out of a Stanley Cup.
Absolutely.
Now you see Stanleys and pinks and leopard prints and purples. And yeah. I mean, so that is one case of a viral video of an influencer, like really hitting the mark and helping a company just catapult themselves and reinvent themselves. But if I had to choose, it would obviously be the long-term resonation with your audiences because there's way more bang for that buck.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, is it my turn?
All right. Let's see. Nope. We are
Oh, we're
into
done.
the bonus round.
Oh, that's
Okay.
fun.
15 seconds each. Rapid fire favorites. Okay.
Okay.
And you are first, actually.
Okay.
Your name is first.
Favorite brand font?
Ooh. See if I'm saying this right. I know it's not what is that?
Or just favorite font. It doesn't matter.
Papyrus or whatever that is. I don't like that font, whatever that is. Papyrus. I don't like that.
Oh, papyrus.
Papyrus. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Why?
I don't know. It just looks
yeah.
bad. It's just gross. I tend to go with it's called Avenir, I believe.
Yeah,
it's
that's
nice.
nice.
It's a really nice font. It may be sans serif, I can't remember. But you know, one of my fonts that I actually like that is kind of my I don't know why I like this, but I can do a lot with impact. And I know that's weird and it's bulky.
No, it's not weird
and
for
it's,
you.
And it's kind of bold. But in Photoshop, I can do a lot with impact. I like the impact.
And I mean, we're font nerds. If you're not a font nerd, Google it. You'll see that impact definitely encompasses Ryan. It's very big. It's big. It's grandiose.
It's grandiose.
That third thing that he says is not part of his top 3 branding.
But
elements.
Avenir's not. I like Avenir.
Right. I thought you were going to say Comic Sans.
No, that would be my other one. Papyrus and
Papyrus.
Comic Sans are no-goes.
I think Papyrus has its place.
Mine's more wingding, but you know.
Papyrus is subtle.
Wingdings.
Whatever. Okay. Dream brand to rebrand.
Okay, I don't know if it needs rebranding. I just know that I would like to work on the branding of this, and I think I could elevate it more.
How did you not even have to think about this?
And let me tell you why. Because there is a brand that I have used on a daily basis. I kid you not, 7 days a week for at
know what that
least
is.
3 to 4 years. And everybody that knows me knows that I probably have this next to me. In fact, I do right now. And I don't have the actual case, but in all of my waters here, you can tell it's pink, right? I use...
Wait, that's lavender to me.
Well, still of that. I use this liquid called Mio. Has no calories, no carbs, and and it has caffeine. But what's the name? How do you pronounce AQ?
Aquafina?
No, Acai. ACAI.
Oh, don't. I
really bad
murder
with
this
that.
word. Acai.
Acai. I use that stuff in my water on a daily basis, and it's so good.
Yeah.
And I could work on that brand.
Is that the flavor?
They don't do a lot. That's the flavor. But Mio's, I could do a lot with the different flavors and the different brands and really kind of elevate that to the next level.
That explains a lot. I did think you were going to say ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. No, I wish I'd used them for years, but I love ChatGPT.
Okay, and last, brand.
He loves me.
Yes, he does. Y'all have a very close relationship.
He's my new best friend.
Okay, brand do you follow just for their social media?
Ooh, now this one's an interesting one because it's a brand, but it's also a person. And I like the brand. I like what he's doing. It's PBD. It's Patrick Bet David. And you look him up on YouTube, and he's got a podcast a couple days a week. But he's got some really cool merch ideas and things that he does at the beginning of every single show. And he's built out this whole brand of who he is, what he is all about, what his company's all about, Valuetainment. And
What's his middle name? Patrick what?
it's Patrick and then Bet-David.
Okay.
And his brand and Valuetainment's brand is phenomenal, and they're just exploding on the scene. And I follow them on all the social medias and watch them and listen to them. And yeah,
I'll watch him.
Okay, so me. All right, Lindsay, what is your most underrated, or what is the most underrated brand in the world? May it be your world, but not
Like right now.
for you. Like, what is your like?
Oh,
Kind
I
of a
wasn't thinking
brand.
that. I was thinking underrated, like it's a silent but powerful
Oh,
thing.
well, that's a sure. You can go that way, sure. You think
Pinterest.
Pinterest? Why Pinterest? I'm not on Pinterest.
I think it silently has made a comeback,
Really?
because it's so authentic and it's providing such value to the people who already loved and were following Pinterest. But in the social digital media world, it's a big player right now, kind of like LinkedIn. You know, LinkedIn used to be really popular, kind of fell off, and then now they're bringing back the Reels. They're bringing back video, or bringing into Reels, videos, all of that sort of thing. Yeah, I think they're silently making a huge comeback. Very powerful.
Write this down. We should add Pinterest and LinkedIn to our next episode of when we do Lindsay's Lens about all the different platforms and
That's
what they could be for.
Courtney.
Courtney, write that down.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. That was a good one. All right.
Well, as opposed to what?
I don't know. I don't know.
Now I know how you really feel. It's the blood oath talking, Courtney.
Blood Oath by Brand Proof.
Okay, what's my next?
Okay, so what is your favorite brand mascot or icon? And you can't say college football team. Go. Yes.
What? How do you can't do that.
I knew she was going to say that. That's why I had to say it.
I think I'm going to surprise you, and I'm going to go with our play on our brand.
Oh.
Brand Proof.
Yes.
So, but it's
Number
not
one.
us. No,
Oh.
no. Okay,
Dang it.
Courtney, sorry, I know you're writing still, but bring up Blanton's.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, Blanton's. For sure. I mean, look at it. They're centered around the legacy. Did you know they were the world's first single barrel bourbon? Did you know that?
No, I absolutely did not know that.
Exactly. And they're centered around Kentucky horse racing, the heritage of it all. So, and they're named after Colonel Blanton. So right there, it's such an authentic genuineness of their locale, of what they're based upon, and then the vintageness of the fact that they're the first single barrel bourbon, which is kind of huge, right?
Right.
Have you ever drank Buffalo Trace? Isn't that one of your
Yep.
favorites? Yep. You know, mixers or whatever. So that's who makes Blanton's. But the iconic part of it all to me is their whole, how they use the kind of the horse racing, the jockey as their major part of their brand. But there's a part on that horse and that jockey that I bet you do not know exists.
No, I don't.
You know, the
What?
bottle stopper.
Right?
Oh, this is exciting if you don't know.
I don't know.
There are letters. So if
Oh, yeah. Okay.
yeah,
I
so
know
if
where we're
like if
going
you're
with that.
looking at what Courtney's showing right now on the screen, the bottom left hoof, that little circle has a letter in it, and they spell out Blanton's. It kind of reminds me of the McDonald's. Do you remember growing up where
the
you
monopolies.
yeah, you'd
Yeah.
pull it off.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder because we have a lot of A's at home, but we don't have any N's. So it makes me wonder, like, do they have a lot of BLA, ONS, or, you know, OS's and not a lot of N's? I don't know. But I bet there's like a whole, like, group of people out there that collect them and then can resell them.
Yeah, I've seen the lines outside of some of the liquor stores early in the morning.
Yeah.
Waiting for the liquor store to open, and I know that that's what they're because they're big long lines, not like
Oh, yeah.
hey, I want to get a
Blanton's
drink.
one of those.
It's Blanton's that collectible.
I have a local source that John, my husband, says I can't share with anybody, but I might share with you after the episode.
Oh yes.
All
Okay.
right. Okay. Are we ready for the next question?
Yep. Ready. Is it me? It's okay. One brand that you would invest in tomorrow.
I mean, Blanton's?
Blanton's. There you go.
Or possibly LinkedIn, because I'm telling you, they're catapulting themselves into the next level. So, yeah.
All right. Well, that was a lot of fun.
It was.
Thanks everyone for playing along with us. And remember, please sure to like and subscribe and comment. If you got any other suggestions or things that we want to talk about, let us know. So,
Right.
I guess Courtney, play that outro music coming up. Well, that's a wrap for episode 3 of Brand Proof.
And if you have thoughts, questions, or a branding story you'd like us to feature, drop it in the comments.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, or leave something in the comments because we're reading them, guys.
Yeah. So remember, stay bold, stay you, and get branded.